Hi, Mark White here. I'm an attorney and president of Idaho Estate Planning, which tells you what kind of law we practice here, and that is estate planning. And over the years, one of the things that's been kind of a struggle for me and maybe counterintuitive a little bit is how many people, after they understand that they maybe should get some planning, don't move forward. And I found out over the years that there are indeed a lot of gentlemen who find it difficult to think about the possibility of being cognitively impaired or actually dying. And so it's very difficult for them to get moving on their estate planning and take care of their family, their spouse. So after a number of these, I put together a little presentation called Get Real. And in essence, that presentation was just to help people understand what the risks were. Not many people are getting off of this planet alive. The way we're all going to leave is through death, and the statistics are pretty brutal, almost 100%. So in an effort to get real, or to help people get real, I wrote a book, and it's called Get Real, Planning for Life, Death, and Disability. And the idea here is it's not just about death planning. And I think that's a mistake a lot of attorneys make, and a mistake that a lot of individuals make when they do their planning. Just talk about, well, what happens at my death? Well, a comprehensive plan also involves what happens while I'm alive and what kinds of plans I have for someone to help me take care of my assets and help make decision when that time comes. So in my book, I talk a lot about the two different kinds of plans that everyone has available to them. There's the plan you get when you design it. You sit down with an attorney, you talk through the issues, you try to figure out what's best for your wife or your husband and your kids. But if you're not getting that plan by design, I call it, if you're not doing the planning and discussing who's going to do what and when, then you get the plan by default, which means somebody somewhere has put together a plan for you, and if you don't do something, this is the one you get. In Idaho, under the probate code, there's a provision in there for intestate probate, which means what happens if somebody dies and they haven't made a will. And so we talk about what those options are, what that looks like, and how, frankly, it doesn't fit anybody anymore. We adopted that provision in 1974. In 1974, I was in high school, and I could count all of the kids that were from a divorced family or blended family on one hand. And you know that isn't the case anymore. But that's how the intestate probate provisions go. If you want to change that, it's pretty simple. You make some decisions, you hire an attorney, you talk about the issues that that are most important to you, and you make that happen. The code, the probate code, also has a provision for if you become incapacitated and you don't have a plan in place, you didn't leave a power of attorney or a power of attorney for health care. We call this a conservatorship or a guardianship, and now the court decides who's going to be making decisions for you, and they're going to be subject to the jurisdiction of the court. And each year they're going to file an annual report and say this is what happened during that period of time. You've given up control because you didn't do a plan. You didn't do a power of attorney. You didn't do a trust that would help you, to be ahead of the curve. The third one that we talk about quite a bit is long-term care. A lot of people are not planning for that possibility of needing long-term care. The statistics are pretty bad. We're all going to have some challenges. Most of us will be in an assisted living situation or need care in the home. And what have we set aside to pay for those costs? The answer is, for the vast majority, is we've made no plans whatsoever. Well, I guess fortunately the federal government has a plan. It's called Medicaid. And it's tricky to get Medicaid coverage. So I get people that complain about the cost of long-term care insurance, and I say, it's really simple with Medicaid. It's kind of expensive though. It costs everything that you own. You'll need to spend everything down. You're able to keep a house, but guess what? After you're passing, the health and welfare is going to want to come and get some money out of your estate, and that will come from the value of your home. So again, what's the plan by design? What's the plan by default? Get a copy of my book, Getting Real, Planning for Life, Death, and Disability. And 1, get real. 2, figure out what the plan that you want to have or need to have in place. 3, get your team together and make it happen. If you have questions about this, contact me. Via the website, there's a couple of places that you can send an email. We'll get your information, or you can call 208-939-7658. Have a good day, and yeah, get real.